Now, Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe has called Impala Platinum's decision to cut 13,000 jobs mindless, reckless. Implats says it's restructuring and cutting the number of mines in its operation. The platinum sector has been stagnant for some time now. Now, joining me is Johan Olivier, who is a labor expert at Weber Wenzel. Johan, thank you so much for joining me. Now, please paint a picture for me of how tough operations are at the present moment that have pushed Implats to make this decision.
Yeah. I must say, I don't envy any of the CEOs of mining companies or even general managers. It's a tough job. It involves difficult decisions. They have to work on enormous pressure in terms of cost that just keeps on rising. The price of platinum that's going down all the time. It's been stagnant for more than a year at very low prices, $820 a fine ounce. You have the gold mining industry also struggling. The gold mining industry has had that for a number of years with deeper mines, higher costs. It had to cut a number of mines, retrench thousands of employees, and now it's the platinum industry that's in the same boat.
So the mining industry is just depressed at the moment?
It is depressed at the moment. Obviously, you know, we're all looking at the minister and the new minister, Gwede Mantashe, to see whether we can kickstart the economy and particularly the mining industry, get more investment, get more mines to restart. But once you close a mine, it's very difficult to restart that mine. And that's what Impala Platinum is planning to do over 2 years, to close 5 mines, which means 13,000 jobs potentially. And I'm saying potentially because obviously you have to go through a process of consultations with all the labor unions. You have to involve a DMR in consultation as well as to the reasons why you're doing this, seeing if there aren't any alternatives to avoid that.
Are cuts the only way to salvage this?
Well, you know, that's what the difficult decision a mine manager and a CEO has to make. That board has to consider all the alternatives. You know, put the mine on care and maintenance, see if we can't see the difficult times through. But obviously they've made that call based on the low price, based on the higher cost that they're experiencing, and saying 5 of these shafts are not profitable. We have to now look at those ones that make money to, in fact, have a viable mine.
Mines Minister Gwede Mantashe is calling this move reckless. Is there any way that maybe his department can work, you know, with Implats to maybe come to some sort of find a way of not shedding so many jobs?
You see, apart from just purely the labor relations aspects, in terms of Section 189 of the Labor Relations Act, you have to start a consultation process of all the trade unions who represent the workers who are to be affected. But parallel to that, you also, in terms of the MPRDA, the Mineral Petroleum Resources Development Act, you have to notify the DMR. The minister gets involved. There's a whole committee that gets established, and they grill the mine management about this decision. Why do you decide to do the closure? Aren't there any alternatives? And that's going to be an ongoing process that we'll see unfold.
Has the new Mines Minister, Gwede Mantashe, made a difference?
Well, obviously he comes from the mining industry. He's a previous General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers. You know, I've dealt with him personally. Most of these CEOs have dealt with him in that capacity previously as well. So he knows what challenges the mining industry is facing. His big challenge now is to kickstart the economy, to get us investments. You know, we have to look at the mining charter. There's been a new mining charter draft that the minister has proposed, and we have to work at that and see that we can get more
What's your biggest
investment.
worry about this new mining charter?
My biggest concern obviously relates to, you know, those very fine thoughts of having more investment locally through, you know, black-owned businesses. But you also need a very good dollop of investment from overseas. And our overseas investors are looking at the long term. They're going to put billions into a new mining venture. They want to see that they get the return on it. And we need to make it profitable for them. to
Okay,
do so.
so the platinum price is depressed. Are we in any way whatsoever as that industry or the that sector looking for new markets at all?
Well, obviously, that's what they are doing all the time.
Yeah.
They are looking, obviously, in terms of batteries and battery power and all of that in relation to cars and machinery to see if they can't get more use for platinum. Because it's not only platinum, it's also rhodium and palladium and all the other minerals that come from a platinum group metals.
Okay, the weak rand as well, is that coming into play here?
Well, the weak rand is a positive because your rand return is obviously a bit higher, but in the long run that can't be sustained because your cost is still in rand, that gets just higher and higher. There's also employment cost, you have to employ all those employees to conduct the mining work. They are represented by trade unions, and each year, like we now have again at the Chamber of Mines, the demands are for 15% plus increases, and the mining industry can't sustain those.
I can't help but having to bring in the beneficiation debate into this because we're talking about raw materials here all the time when we talk about platinum, gold and so forth. Is there a point where we really need to start taking beneficiation seriously? Because that could absorb some of these jobs that we're losing. They may need to be reskilled, obviously, but would that help?
That will help, and it's part of what is envisaged in Mining Charter 3, as we call it, the new Mining Charter, that there is a focus on beneficiation. There is a requirement that a larger part of what you do as a mining company is to support beneficiation, and we have to focus on that as well.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through, Johan Olivier. It's not looking good at the present moment, but thanks for spending your time with us. He's a labor expert at Weber Wenzel.